Hello and welcome back to The Give and Go. I'm your host, Reynoso, going solo for today as Saltero is out of studio. And we just saw two crazy, close, but not fulfilled comebacks from Borussia Dortmund and Aston Villa. Aston Villa being the closest one, falling one goal short of PSG on aggregate 5-4 in a game where Aston Villa, they should have gotten five. They should have gotten five. I think you look at the Marco Asensio opportunity, you look at the Yuri Tielemans opportunity with the header, and then finally you look at the Ian Maatsen opportunity at the very end, 30 seconds left, and it's a goal line clearance from William Pacho. Aston Villa should have tied this match. Unreal scenes at Villa Park as Unai Emery's side nearly pulls off the incredible after going down 2-0 to the absolute greatness of PSG fullbacks, Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, scoring some incredible goals to just keep on pushing their team forward, carry on that momentum from the last game. But then what we saw after they conceded that second goal was probably the best we've seen from Villa all season long. 3 unanswered goals back to back with opportunities coming from all sides on the pitch. Marcus Rashford, my God, it's so clear when he's invested in a match and when he's giving his 110%. He was incredible today, in my opinion. I thought he was absolutely great. John McGinn with his willingness, his want, showcasing that in the midfield and scoring a banger, although it was a little bit deflected, scoring a banger from outside the box to push Aston Villa forward. And then, as I mentioned, the close calls. I mean, Marco Asensio, bro. Marco Asensio. I mean, I see why PSG loaned him out. I see why Madrid got rid of him. I see it. You gotta score that, bro. Score that for me, man, just to make it exciting. Give the fans what they want. Villa Park was on their knees begging for it, man, and he just couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. Obviously lacking in the finishing department there from Marco Asensio, but you also have to credit PSG and the X factors that they have. One of them being Donnarumma. I mean, what we saw today was insane. For every chance that I just highlighted, it was Donnarumma at the end of those opportunities keeping PSG in it. The Marcus Rashford save was ridiculous with one palm, a strong shot, punches it out, corner kick, incredible. The Yuri Tielemans header that he saved was such a quick reaction, almost went behind him, but he's able to get his fingertips on it and then push it out. And then finally the Asensio opportunity made his body big, got big and goal as he rushed out and didn't give Asensio much of an angle or much of a gap to expose. Donnarumma, the X factor, and in my opinion, this is why he is one of the top 3 goalkeepers in the world. There aren't many other goalkeepers that can do what he did today, which is essentially carry his defense and push his team into the semifinals of the UEFA Champions League. Incredible performance from the Italian. But man, I can't help but keep replaying that last minute where a beautiful ball comes in. I'm not sure from who, but it's Ian Maatsen who's at the end of it and hits it basically perfectly, man. It's tough to catch those type of opportunities. It's curling in, folks. It's going in. It's going to hit the post or hit the side netting and go in. It had beaten Donnarumma, but it's the Ecuadorian, man. William Pacho at the end of it, getting his body in the way. I can't stop thinking about that opportunity because imagine the scenes. Imagine how Unai Emery would have looked on the sidelines celebrating that goal. What that would have done for the momentum, the confidence. We go into extra time. I think it's favored towards Aston Villa, man. In those final moments, if it goes another 30 minutes, I think Villa gets another goal, man. The momentum shift would have been ridiculous, scoring 4 straight goals. 4 straight goals back to back to back to back. But the footballing gods just couldn't give it to us. They just couldn't. And PSG comes out on top in a match where ultimately it's their offensive prowess that carried them over these 2 legs. I mean, it took 5 goals. 5 goals to get past this Aston Villa side who put 4 past PSG. But it was that offense. It was the fact that they were constantly on the attack, constantly countering. So dangerous. So many deadly weapons that did prevail over these 2 legs. And you have to give credit to that. You have to highlight that because that is the best part of this PSG side. Obviously, you have Barcola, Doué, you Kvaratskhelia, Dembele up top, but it was the fullbacks today. And arguably the best fullback pairing in world football right now, Hakimi and Nuno Mendes scoring the goals for PSG in this big matchup away from home. Like, those were the players that stepped up offensively, and that is the danger that PSG poses. Anybody can score, man. Anybody can score, and there's some great finishers on this team. Nuno Mendes, I can't believe how good he is as a fullback and how good he is at finishing. Scoring in both legs, folks. Both legs. That is truly something dangerous that this PSG team possesses. With that being said, I can't look away from what I saw from the defense today. I can't. I don't believe that this PSG team is immune to conceding goals. I can't buy into that idea. I do think they have their flaws defensively. And I think they lost control of this match, especially around the 60th minute, completely lost control. And if it wasn't for Aston Villa's lack of finishing, I mean, Villa should have tied this matchup, man. And this could have gone differently in extra time or potentially in penalties, man. Like, PSG has flaws, man. They really do. And I think it's very similar to the things I've heard, Saltero and many other people criticize about Barcelona, where there's a very good offense, but a questionable defense at back. This solidified it for me. It concerns me for PSG going forward. They're going to have to outscore their opponents and rely on their offense to just completely go off, which is very likely because they have incredible talents up front. Looking over at the Dortmund versus Barcelona game, I think we had a similar story here, although much less dramatic, as there was always a 2-goal gap between these teams. Barcelona sees the result outscoring 5 goals on Dortmund, whereas Dortmund gets 3 on aggregate. And it's a similar sentiment to what I just said about PSG. Barcelona is going to score their goals. They went off at home and they essentially ended this tie after the first leg, going up 4-0. So, it got close at moments for Dortmund, but I can't really take away that much. I can't be that harsh on Barcelona, although that third goal can't happen. That third goal can't happen. Araujo, just clear it, bro. Just clear it. I don't know what he was trying to do, shifting his whole body instead of just trying to clear it with his left foot or being more smart with it, man. I thought he was very impulsive with that reaction, and it just lands perfectly at Guirassi's feet. Guirassy puts it past Szczesny, and it's 3-1 for Dortmund. Obviously still a 2-goal gap, but I think that was the worst goal that Barca conceded in this match. The other one was a penalty, and the second one was a very well executed corner kick from Dortmund. It got me hyped. It was a dope goal to see. And if there's really anything else to criticize, it's just Barca's offense being lackadaisical in this match. I would have wanted to see more. I wanted to see more of an impetus, more of a want. It just felt like the chemistry was off between Yamal, Rafinha, and Lewandowski, and it just never really gelled together, ultimately taking an own goal off of a Fermin pass to get a goal in this game. I would have liked to see Barcelona maintain that same dog that they had in that first game, because when they have their offense cooking the way they did back at home, I think it's very clear Barcelona is unstoppable against this Dortmund side specifically. Like, they dominate them in every sector of the pitch. So that's disappointing to me. I wanted to see more out of Barcelona, and I hope going forward this works as a wake-up call for them to just continue, what did they say? Putting your foot on the opponent's neck. Is that what they say? But either way, job done for both PSG and Barcelona. And I think looking at both teams as they head into the semifinals, I think today showed why I truly do believe it's a 50-50 toss-up between both these sides. Both teams have leaky defenses. They can be exposed. They have flaws. They're not perfect defenses. What they have to offer offensively, though, is something truly special. I think these are 2 of the 3 best offenses in all of Europe. They're operating at a very high level. And over 90 minutes in a final setting, I think it would make for the best football that we could see this year in the Champions League. I still do believe that, despite how close both games got at certain points. I think something that did come up for me in our last episode, but I think became even more apparent today in this big game setting, especially for PSG specifically, is how would a team like PSG perform, under the bright lights? This is a quarterfinal matchup at a very intense Villa Park. Imagine a final. 90 minutes, not 2 legs, 90 minutes where you have to be clinical. You have to step up. They have players that can do that. Donnarumma showed that today. Incredible. Nuno Mendes, Hakimi, those are big game players. I trust them. But outside of that, man, I get questionable about the experience and what they can do in 90 minutes versus what I predict to be a Barcelona side with more experience in finals across the pitch from you. I mean, we're talking about Lamine Yamal, Pedri, players that played a big role in Spain's Euros run. Those are big games, bro. Big, big games. Lewandowski, the trophies he won with Bayern, with Dortmund, and now with Barca, the big moments he's been in. I trust that. I just get nervous. I get nervous with PSG knowing the history of this club because it almost happened today, man. It almost happened today. And if it wasn't for a few lucky outcomes, I think Aston Villa could have pulled off at the very least a tie. And it just didn't happen. So that's my takeaway. That's my takeaway when it comes to both matches. I still favor Barcelona if it were to come down to a PSG versus Barcelona final. And I still think this would be the best final that we could get in the Champions League. But now with PSG going through, we have some exciting matches waiting for us tomorrow to decide who these teams get matched up against. Bayern Munich versus Inter Milan is still up for grabs. I predict Inter Milan, but wouldn't be surprised if Bayern pulls it off and they end up matching up against Barcelona. And on the other side, if Arsenal goes through, man, they're going to have to face off against a very tough PSG team. Or if Real Madrid pulls off the incredible and comes back, that's who PSG will have to face off against in the semifinal. An awoken demon in Real Madrid. So there's still a lot of work left to be done for both of these teams to make it to the final. But, bro, the Champions League is delivering. I'm glad that these games ultimately were very entertaining when I thought that maybe they wouldn't be that close. And I'm just excited, man. I'm excited to see what results we get in these big, big moments. Let me know your thoughts on today's matches. How you feel about both these teams. Who would win in the Champions League final between both of them? And I'll see you guys soon. Peace.